I'm gonna read to you some of my 2011 stories. This one's called Mentioned Sexual Abuse to a Family Social Worker. My psychiatrist back in 2011, when I was having sexual abuse delusions about my dad, suggested we see a family social worker to work on the family dynamics. Well, me, my mom, stepdad, and dad all went. The social worker session seemed normal at first. We seemed like a normal family. My mom talked, then my stepdad, then dad, then it got to me. I said how my dad is responsible for sexual abuse. It became so uncomfortable for my dad. I said, remember holidays? Remember the syosset firehouse? My dad was like, I don't know what you're talking about, which is true. Everyone else was uncomfortable, I'm assuming. But then the social worker said, the sexual abuse delusion meant I wanted a connection to my father. She kept criticizing him, saying how my mom does too much and is covering up for my dad, who doesn't do enough. My dad was squirming in his chair. He didn't like her because she told the truth. The social worker said my delusion was my way of saying I was angry at my dad, that I wanted him in my life more. That was the first and last time we were at that doctor. The next one is called the police about the abuse. Back in 2011, when I was having sexual abuse delusions about my father and his family, I called the police about sexual abuse, which supposedly occurred at the syosset firehouse. The police came to the house and I explained my delusion to them, and they began looking at me like I was crazy. They said, if it's true, it happened so long ago and you have no proof, which made me start to go into other delusional instances. I was like, I was abused on trains, on vacations, etc. My mom saw the police were at the house and she came outside. They were all looking at me like I was crazy. The police officers tried provoking me. He said, your fists are clenched. Do you want to hit me? I said no, and they told my mom there was nothing I could do. I wasn't a threat. I was peaceful, just delusional. Obviously, in a few days, I was back in the hospital. And the next one is went to the 8th Precinct. In 2011, when I was having sexual abuse delusions about my dad, I was writing them down and storing them on a USB drive. I did this because I was fearful people were reading my computer. Well, the USB drive was attached to my keychain and fell off. It must have fallen off right in front of one of the neighbors' homes, likely as I was taking my keys out of my pocket, and the neighbor found it, read it, because he turned it over to the police. Well, the 8th Precinct called the house. My mom, still scarred from all the hospitalizations, was wondering why they were calling. I told her they found something and wanted to talk to me. I went down to the 8th Precinct and awkwardly sat in a room. It was behind locking doors. It was late at night. They said, we found your USB drive and it had some disturbing material on it. Anything you want to tell us? I said no. They gave it back to me and eventually they let me leave. Well, it was probably the next door neighbor who found it. It's hysterical what he must have thought of me, my father, and family if he did. I wonder if he gossiped about it. The neighbors prior to that already thought I was odd due to my walking. I guess it's funny in hindsight. But, you know, then again, rape isn't funny at all. It's fucking horrible. But, I don't know. It's just the awkwardness and I don't know.